Sorry. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tom's Guitar Show. I'm Tom. They call me Guitar Tom because I'm often seen with a guitar. They call me on the phone. They say, "Hey, man, what's your show about?" I say, "Well, it's about an hour. It's about guitars, guitar players, guitar playing, all things guitaristic." So, here's the thing. If you want to call on the phone and ask a question about, how to play the guitar, care and feeding of your guitar, what kind of guitar is right for you? You want to talk about a related topic like the guitarrón, cithara, oud viola, banjos, balalaikas, bazookies, bajos sextos, tiples, cavaquinhos, banduras. I was looking into banduras the other day. I don't have one, but bandolims. You want to talk about, but they say balalaikas, bazookies, and banjos. Anything. Pipe organs, piccolos, ocarinas, accordions, drum horns, cornettos, kirtles, clarinets, clavinets, clavichords, clavinovas. We'll talk about pianos, trombones, trombomarinas, cornettos, sackbuts. Anything you make music on, politics, world events, your own personality problems, that's fine. I'm here for you. We're all here for you, but keep it clean. This is a family show. All right, okay. So, once again, I had a plan for the show. I got a pickup that I put on my string bass. And if you've been a follower of the show for a long time, you probably moved out of town. But my... wait. Are there? Never mind. So I got a pickup for my string bass, so I can play with the bow and everything, and I can plug it into an amp. I can loop with it, but unfortunately, well, it was too hot to bring it. It's just too hot. I mean, it's too hot. It's too hot, baby. So I didn't feel like lugging my string bass over, and my mixer and all my cables and stuff. Because the thing I can do is I could play the string bass, you see, and do a loop, and then I could bring the guitar around and I could play on that. You see, and we did a show a couple of years ago when our intern of the year, Seth, helped out. He handed me a ukulele, so I made this big loop and finished it off with a ukulele solo on top. But anyway, it's too hot, so let's do this. I must say, I really dig this guitar. This is it's like a Telecaster with a Les Paul pickups on it, basically. It's, if you're a guitar nerd, you would know the controversy, even if you were a regular viewer of Tom's Guitar Show. Because last summer, if I remember correctly, I went through my whole thing about, you know, there are two kinds of people. There's them and us. And some people like the Gibsons, and some people like the Fenders. And there's people who like the Gibsons, you know, like the pickups and the louder signal it puts out. And other people who like the Fenders, they have the single coils, and they say, well, hey, you know, it's not loud enough for you. Just turn your amp up a little bit, and you know, so they can fight and fight. So what I did is I switched over to the other side. I went to the guitar shop. They had a used Les Paul, and I bought it. You know, I had to pay it off for a while, but I bought it. But the next day, I went in and I bought an SG, and I've had both these guitars on the show a number of times, and you know, it's been great. It's interesting. But now I have a Fender with you know, the humbuckers that not unlike the ones that they have on Les Pauls. So it's you know, what can I say? I mean, in my own little way, I'm happy, and I don't really hurt anybody. You know, I mean, I guess I do have dependents, and I have, but they get enough to eat. You know. I mean, you know, we have one car. We don't have air conditioning yet, but we will, like, pretty soon, at least in one room, the music room. Anyway, but no, I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, let them get a job. No, I mean, all I'm saying is I don't really hurt anybody with this, and there's no law against this yet. And and if I do, you know, just like fall down dying, they can have like a great big sale. They can go into the used guitar business and sell all kinds of used guitars. So. Anyway. A little blessing from Bob Dylan there.
Is it true there's a special attraction this year at TrekFest? Tom and the Tribbles will be there.
Oh, is it ever? I had to do a write-up for that and everything. They wanted something to put in all the press releases and stuff. And Donna, the ukulele player, she took a picture of me standing out in front of my house, holding the string bass, a guitar, and a ukulele. And I was wearing, because I don't have the air conditioning, I was wearing shorts. And I was assuming she was going to get me from the torso up, but apparently she said my legs are mostly obscured by the string bass. But yes, we are going to be at TrekFest.
In Riverside?
At Riverside, Iowa.
The future birthplace of Captain Kirk?
That's what it's all about, Captain Kirk. And we're working up the Star Trek theme song. La 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 la. I can't whistle right now. Anyway, yeah, we're doing that. And yeah, it's going to be a 6-piece band. We got a ringer, and I hope to have her on the show sometime. Elise, she's a violin player. Elise Black, I believe is her name. And she, because Ed, the mandolin player, can't make it, so we have a ringer.
That's the 29th?
30th.
30th.
Yeah, Saturday. Yeah, 6-piece band. We're going to do, I've got accordion, string bass, ukulele section. We're going to do a bunch of ukuleles. And Joey, the bass player, she has a acoustic bass guitar, which is nothing but a huge ukulele if you think about it. Yeah, so we're going to do it. We're going to do it all up. And I'm thinking about trying to get since we've been working so hard on this, to get them all on the show again, so we can maybe do a Tom's Guitar Show special, or maybe just one of these shows with the whole band on it. I think that's kind of fun. But yeah.
And your usual job this weekend?
Well, I'll be at Tuscan Moon Friday and Saturday night, and
downtown Kelowna.
Beautiful downtown Kelowna, the next town over from Riverside, going down Highway 22. Unless you're coming in the other direction, in which case Riverside's the next town over from Kelowna. But anyway, yeah, 7 miles or so from Riverside is Kelowna. I'll be there Friday, Saturday night, Tuscan Moon, right in the middle of downtown Kelowna, right next to the Kelowna Bakery. You can smell the cinnamon rolls. And I'll be there Friday, Saturday night. I'm supposed to start at 6, but I'll be there by 6:30. And lately I've been playing till 10. And food's never been better. And they have total peace and harmony in the kitchen. And happiness abounds. It's a place to be, really.
And if anybody wants to watch this extravaganza made, where will we be next week?
Okay, next week we're going to be upstairs at Uptown. We're going upstairs. We're going to Uptown Bill's Coffee House,
A remote broadcast.
That's right. Well, it's not that remote. We're just going to run some wires through the floor because it's like right up there, and say we're going up. Anyway, yeah. No, we're not going to heaven.
We're moving on up.
Yeah. No, we're going up to Uptown Bill's, and we're going to have the show next week. And
that's at the corner of South Dubuque and Lafayette.
South Dubuque and Lafayette, right by
Iowa City.
Right here in Iowa City, right by the train tracks. It's almost downtown, really. I mean, isn't it? I mean, it's sort of downtown.
Block north of the county office building.
That's right. Yeah. So that's where you get your license plates, about a block away. And yeah, so we're going to be live next week, 6 o'clock, and we could use a studio audience. I'll put a press release out, I guess, and hope for the best. But yeah, we're going to be live. And Bob's going to be here. He's going to read some stuff for us, and we'll have other people coming on to read. And we could use a live audience. But so I'm babbling incoherently there, Bob. I mean, you're helping me out so much, and I'm still thinking about TrekFest. So we're on actually at 11:15 in the morning until 1:15 in the afternoon, I believe, right in the park in the middle of Riverside, Iowa, on the 30th of June, the last day of June.
So not just Tom, but Tom and all the Tribbles.
Tom and the Tribbles, yeah. And we usually just call it the string band. I wanted to call us the Nervous Nellies because I thought that'd be a good name for a coffee house band because they drink too much coffee and they shake, or the Fretful, Sextet.
But Tom and the Tribbles sounds a lot trekkier.
Well, see, the thing is, it all comes out. I made that up at the spur of the moment and said, well, I was thinking about Tom and the Tribbles, and the woman on the other end, Carol, who was booking the thing, said, I love it. And so that was what we're called, but just for this one gig. Although there's some talk about calling us the Tribbles for now on, but anyway. And I said we may be warm and fuzzy, but we're not. We don't reproduce so much as reconfigure because people come and I don't know because Tribbles, if you feed a Tribble,
feed them, they reproduce.
Yeah, right. And Now we have, they actually, part of our perks is we get a free T-shirt and meal tickets. So I don't know. I don't think so.
So come on out and watch Tom and the Tribbles earn their meal.
That's right. That's right. But we won't read, because if you feed them, they never mind. No, it's fine. We'll be fine.
We'll see how many you finish with.
That's right. We got to keep it clean. This is a family show, but yeah, we are rehearsing up a storm. We got a really good fiddle player to help us out. So it's the thing about Tom's Guitar Show is we try to keep it clean because this is, it's not that kind of show. We have had programs on PATV, not Tom's Guitar Show, other programs where they had, women wrestling and young women wrestling in oatmeal in a wading pool, and then they started throwing the oatmeal, and we still haven't gotten the spots out of the curtain. So that's why we use the green screen. Speaking of controversial topics, so I was thinking about this last night while I was doing my prep cooking for a great big chicken pasta salad. So I had to cook the chicken and the pasta last night, and it was really hot. And so my mind was wandering. I was thinking about Kenny Rogers, because of a week or so ago, somebody was, an older country music lover was, complaining about Garth Brooks and Kenny Rogers, and they blamed Kenny Rogers as the one who got it all started, ruining country music for the rest of us or something. And there's well, never mind. There's a famous quote about it. I don't mean to denigrate. I don't like country music myself, but I don't mean to denigrate anybody who does. And for those who do like country music, denigrate means put down. But that was Steve Allen, I guess. That was his. It's not. I didn't say I like country music. Some country music. I like the real country music. It won't hurt when I fall down off this bar stool. It won't hurt when I stumble in the street. It won't hurt at all, 'cause whiskey eases misery. But even whiskey can't ease the pain of your leaving me. Anyway, I'm sorry. Well, anyway, I was talking to somebody about country music. And it was actually somebody was talking to me about country music, really. And it made me think about Kenny Rogers. And I remember Kenny Rogers. I'm an old enough fella now. I mean, I'm not as old as Bob here, and Bob's not as old as Phil. But, this is bear this in mind, Mike. This is a show for old men, mostly. And the interns, young and fresh in the world, they come and go. But the old men return. Anyway, never mind.
Us geezers have nowhere else to go.
That's right. Well, I was relatively young when I started this show 22 years ago, but never mind. So, anyway, we're talking about Kenny Rogers, and I was a music teacher. I mean, I have been a music teacher for a long time, but I was, I guess, probably in the little back room of West Music, and I had these little boys, 8-year-old boys, we'd go through our lessons and stuff, and we'd try to find songs they wanted to play, how to change the chords, and this country thing was becoming very popular. So Kenny Rogers was big, and the one that really bothered me was Coward of the County, which we can talk about later, but probably shouldn't because it's a family show. But then I was thinking about some of the other ones, like Lucille. He picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. And I was thinking, so in a bar in Toledo, across from the depot, on a bar stool, she took off her ring. And she's tired of living on dreams, you see. And then this big guy comes in, and it was her husband. And for a minute, the guy says, for a minute, I thought I was dead. But then he starts crying because, you picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille, with 4 hungry children and the crops in the field. I've been through some bad times. I've lived through some sad times, but this time your hurting won't heal. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. I was thinking, wait a minute. Okay, so she abandoned her children, to go to a bar across from the depot, so she must have taken the bus into Toledo, the big city. And then her husband's trying to confront her peacefully, even though he's a big guy, and he didn't even beat up the guy that she was seducing. It's a terrible story, not a good one for kids. But see, later on in the song, he when she came to me, he couldn't. In the end, he couldn't do anything because of his words kept coming back. And so, if you like, that would be a major buzzkill. I mean, I would not have gone to the motel with her. I mean, I would have, I probably would have left earlier, than he did. What kind of moral, what kind of moral? Well, I don't know. That's what happened to country. Well, country music's always been kind of, I mean, what can I say? I've said enough, haven't I? Anyway, there's also Coward of the County, which is promise me, son, not to do the things I've done. Walk away from trouble if you can. It won't mean you're weak because you turn the other cheek. I hope you're old enough to understand. Son, you don't have to fight to be a man. See, he was only 7 when his daddy died in prison. So that's not a very nice song either. But see, what actually made him become violent, and he beat up 7 guys.
Boys.
Yeah, what are they called?
It's the Gatlin boys kept going. Then the Gatlin boys did a comeback later on.
Yeah.
All the Golden Californias in a bank in the middle of Beverly Hills in Kenny Rogers' name.
Yeah, I see. Well, the Gatlin boys apparently abused this guy's girlfriend, all of them, and so he beat them all up, and it's a terrible story, And I would never have thought about it very much, except there's this 8-year-old boy who wants to learn that song, and which is one of the reasons I really prefer teaching classical guitar, because there's no lyrics in the music, and it's you got Bach, and of course the dead Italians, Carulli, Carcassi, these guys, Italian masters who wrote these, bouncy, entertaining little pieces about 200 years ago, and that's what we use, you see, so we don't have to worry about any of that stuff. It's just classical guitar, and anyway.
Of course, a lot of those classical composers lived the lives those country singers sing about.
Of course, but they kept it to themselves.
Well, it wasn't in their music anyway.
It wasn't in their music, yeah. Well, I mean, the operas are pretty bad, but I mean, what can I say? If you want nasty, just read the Bible. That's really bad. Anyway, but yeah, never mind. I'm sorry, I've gone far enough. This is a family show, so I have a lot to be a. Well, one thing I want to say before I could shut up and play guitar is what I've done with this guitar and the Stratocaster is I mentioned this last week is right here is a button. The strap button is usually right here, right? It's this thing right here that you put the strap on, right? There's a button there. Here you can see it. There we go. There we go. There's the strap button. Okay, see that? Anyway, but what I did was I got one from the guitar shop that was a little bit, had a big enough hole in the screw, and I just unscrewed one of these, put the strap button on, screwed it back in, nice and tight. And now I could hang the guitar from this one instead of the one that it comes with over here. And if you get the idea that if you hang it here, right, if you put the strap button here, oops, I seem to have lost my other, there we go. If you put it on here, the guitar hangs down like that, right? It's kind of more horizontal. And that was just popular, of course. And some people you see Johnny Cash held his guitar so it was completely level. But this way, your thumb is up here like this and you're playing like that. And you also see a lot of rock and rollers that have the guitar down. Every generation they try to put it a little lower. And I was watching Jay Leno or one of those shows once, and they had a band on. And these guys had the guitar down below their knees, and I always wanted to have I thought of a name for a band called the Knuckle Draggers. And I Googled it once; it hadn't been taken that I was aware of. But anyway, and chimpanzees would probably play really well in a band. And actually, the level of sophistication of the music was such. Well, I'm not saying I'm not going down that road. Okay, so what I've done is I've put the strap button here, an extra strap button on, and. If I can get it back on, and excuse me. Now the guitar hangs like this, so I'm in the same position as a classical guitarist, and perhaps I'll spin my.
Easier on the arthritic thumbs.
That's right. Well, yeah, it's better for my thumb. I don't know what's wrong with my thumb. Maybe it's Arthur trying to get me to stop playing. But because I've been playing guitar for a long time now, and but here I'm like a classical guitarist. I mean, at least I'm got the guitar at the angle of a classical guitar. But and I am. Well, I guess I'm somebody who plays classical guitar, and I don't know a joke for that, like the denigrate joke. I don't know one, but anyway, there are these jokes about musicians. And, maybe we should look up classical guitarist jokes. I don't know if there.
Have to look into that for next week.
Yeah, if there are any. I really haven't decided what I'm going to do next week. This is the first time I've been in air conditioning all day, so my brain doesn't function. It functions even worse than usual. See, here I am. I've got my brain overheated. I've been playing a Telecaster, so anyway.
We'll play some rock and roll.
That's right. Actually, last weekend there was Kelowna Days in Kelowna, so I played Friday night, and about an hour and a half into my gig, the band set up down the street, and that was kind of a problem. And then and then it started raining, and it was very sad. And one thing that's sad about it is like oldies bands, where the guys they're all my age or older, in the band, and then they, it's just kind of like, well, sometimes it's just kind of sad, it's kind of depressing, but old rockers. But the thing that was really sad was that when it started raining, everybody kind of cleared out, and there's only one table at Diehards because it was just dribbling when I went out to check them out and everything. Because I took all my stuff in to the porch, so I couldn't play on the patio anymore at the Tuscan Moon, and then I went out and checked out the band and. They're playing a bunch of oldies and everything, and they had lead guitar player had an ES 335, which is the one that B.B. King plays, only he had a red one, and the other guy had the other guitar player had a Telecaster, but the kind of vanilla colored one, like I have the yellow one, the what smells like a Frenchman, but that's another Tom's Guitar Show joke. But anyway, so there's only one table, and they kind of clapped. And the guy gets up to the mic and says, "Thank you for your sympathy." And so I went home. And then Saturday night, they didn't even want me because they didn't tell me. They hired a piano player they used to have play there before I got the house gig there. And he's going to play in their beer garden thing they had set up because they blocked off the street and it was Kelowna Days. And then it rained a lot. But I was playing for a surgery graduation party at the University Club or the athletic club out there in Melrose, indoors with extreme air conditioning. I could have worn a suit. I should have worn a suit, but because everybody else was wearing a suit. But anyway, so that's just that's what. Because I say, so many gigs I've had, they like I go to the gig one day and there's a piano there all of a sudden, like some regular gig I have, and then they get a piano, and then it's only a matter of time before I'm laid off, and then they go out of business. This has happened like 3 times in my life where I've had a house gig, piano comes in, I go out, and a few months later, they're out of business. So if you have a restaurant, snazzy restaurant where you want some fancy music, stick with a guitar player, because bring all my own stuff in, and then when I leave, it goes with me, and don't cause any trouble, it's not too loud, and stay in business for years. I mean,
and it doesn't cost them anything.
Doesn't cost them anything, yeah, because the one place in Cedar Rapids, the guy, piano player. See, I was there every Saturday night, and there's another guy who's there every Friday night. And he also had a business on the side. He sold pianos. And so he talked the owner into buying a used grand piano, which is probably pretty expensive. And so I went in one day, and there was this piano there where I usually sat, So I put my amp up on top of the piano, of course, because, I mean, what else was I going to do? So... And then, after a few weeks, I think the owner started thinking, I bought this piano, and it's expensive and everything, and why don't I just get a guy to play the piano on Saturday night instead of the guitar player? And he did. And a couple months later, I drove by there, and it was closed for good. So, and that's the 3rd time that happened to me. So that was up in Cedar Rapids. But the idea was, some people say it's really hard to have a nice restaurant in Cedar Rapids because the difference between Cedar Rapids and a bowl of yogurt is that yogurt has culture. That's what somebody That's what somebody from Cedar Rapids told me. I've played a lot of gigs in Cedar Rapids, but that's what I've been told by Cedar Rapidians. So I come up out of the South. I'm imported for culture. Anyway, so I don't know. I keep talking about this stuff. I should just play guitar, I suppose. But, oh, I know where I was going with this. Because Friday night, I brought my red Starfire. Because the big thing about this Kelowna Days is they're nostalgic about the 50s and 60s. So I have that red. I've had it on the show a couple times. It's like a fire engine red hollow body guitar with F-holes. It's basically a replica of an early 1960s Guild Starfire. And guitar that won the West. And I was planning to do like a... Because I usually play the electric classical guitar and like Latin jazz and stuff like that. When I play the gig, I shave. Try to be respectable, you know. They say blues ain't nothing but a good man feeling bad. And then there's this old blues guy who was interviewed once. He said, "Could be nothing, blues ain't nothing but a good man or a bad man feeling good." But anyway, so I was thinking, like last week we were talking about getting our other. We have a new intern, and we're glad to have you. Well, what's your name?
Nadia.
Sit
Nadia.
over here to the microphone so people can hear you.
Well, what did I say?
Mike can show what you look like. You're more photogenic than I am.
Well,
Over there.
Where? Right here.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm
Yeah.
Nadia.
you're Nadia.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so what brings you to PATV? Is it?
Well, I'm a cinema major and I want to get more experience working in the television environment,
Okay.
working with professional camera equipment.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
This is prosumer, they call it. That's great. That's great. Well, you get a lot of stuff done here. I mean,
that's
you'll,
what I hear.
you get a lot of work and get a chance to. I mean, the old days, there were people who at the university would have trouble getting equipment checked out. You know, getting a chance to use the equipment, and here you can just like use it all the time. So,
That's great.
good. Well, come on every week because we can use your camera. Then you could. Skopinski will have you directing before too long,
Yeah, I would like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
and you can tell the camera people what to do. And of course, in this show, like I don't really look that good, but the guitars look really good, I think, and so you can
looks
zoom in on the strings.
You sing or dance or do anything on camera?
Not on camera, no. Only behind the scenes, but
Well, welcome, Nadia. Okay.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. So, you know, while we're here, though, Sujin was supposed to come on sometime, and I think you're okay. Well, she's editing. Our intern, she's been a wonderful intern for us for a long time. Is she? Is there any way we could scare her to come up here just to say hi for 1 minute? I heard she's down there editing somewhere. If you can convince her to come on, because she's been, you know, I think her time is about up. She took an extension, I think, and has been an intern for a long time. And when she first came here, she didn't. I mean, she knew many things, but she was like totally inexperienced, and now she's like totally comfortable with everything and wonderful too. So anyway, yeah, they come and go, and interns, but Bob is. Well, except he goes off to the desert to warm up in the winter. He snowbirds, but Phil has been with me for. Is Phil back there? How many years has Phil been? Hey, Phil, are you back there? How many years are you back? How many years have you been on this show? If he's back there, Phil. I don't. Phil, how many years have you been on this show? How many years have you been working on this show? You don't know. 10 or 12. Okay, they can't hear that at home, but Sujin is going to. This is not her last week. Next week is her last week, so she's going to be. Let's all come here next week, and you can come.
Let's go upstairs next week.
Hey, we're all going to go up. We're going up. We're going up. We're going upstairs next week, and Sujin can say her goodbyes. Perhaps she's going to prepare for next week, but well, anyway. One thing I'd say about this show, though, is that I've proved that anybody can have a show. Because I've had one for a long time.
Go ahead. Two's off.
Yeah, so we wanted to have you on. Sujin, because you've been loyal, and it was such a great addition to the show since you've been here. So yeah. Well, how so what are we going to talk about?
So, introduce myself.
Yes, go ahead.
So my name is Sujin Kim. I'm from South Korea, and I graduated from the University of Iowa, and now I'm interning here at PATV.
Yeah, and you only have like 1 week left, don't you?
I don't know, maybe end of the July, or yeah, it's flexible, so I'm not sure right now.
Oh, that's good. We're really.
Yeah.
But you've been great on the show. You've helped us so much. And, so that's what we're hoping. Yeah, I hope you stay around. I mean, but you're going to try to get a job somewhere in the media, though, and move away and be a big star or something, aren't you, in the business or something? Or,
Yeah, I hope so someday. Yeah, I'm trying to find job in media industry. So, yeah.
But you want to stay in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You like it here in Iowa? Or?
Yeah.
I mean, would you rather live in New York or Los Angeles or someplace? Or
It depends where I get the job.
Yes.
But I prefer living in Iowa City since I already lived here about 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of us were. A lot of us have been. I've talked to people about this a lot. I mean, you can. They say it doesn't really matter as much where you live anymore, like it used to.
Yes.
And living here is pretty easy compared to living in other places. My feeling about Los Angeles, when I've been there, and I played guitar in Los Angeles, and I even recorded a little bit in Los Angeles, but it's just like so much concrete. You have to have a car, and everything's far away, and there's these huge highways, and people are angry on those highways. And here, I mean, I live, a 20-minute walk from the co-op or John's Grocery, and maybe like 15 minutes, 22 minutes to the library, and it's. I have a car. I don't really need it. You see, and I guess I need it, but you can live fine. It's a small town, and you have all the culture you need, and people make fun of us for living out here in the corn. But it's kind of nice, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So where did you come from in Korea? What town? What city?
Seoul.
Seoul. Oh, that's a huge city.
Yeah.
So, okay.
But it's actually not as much as bigger than Iowa City, since it's a little small. It's like a lot of people living there, but it's smaller than Iowa City.
So they're all living in high rises. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's probably better if we stack people up than stretch them out. But well, I'm glad you're. I thought you were leaving like this week or something.
Oh, no.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on. We'll put a face behind the work. So.
15 years.
15 years. You've been here for 15 years on this show? Phil has been working on my show for 15 years. That's. Why? PATV, I've given you all the best years of my life. And I have a call. Okay. Hello, you're on Tom's Guitar Show.
Hey, what's going on, Tom?
Hey, can't hear you very well. Let's see if we can turn you up a little bit. But
I got a request.
sure. What's that?
Do you know? Have you ever seen Back to the Future?
No, actually, I haven't.
Well, I don't know if the title of the song is called "Go Johnny Go."
Johnny Be Good?
Yeah.
Johnny, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, go, Johnny, go. Go tell his old Tom, sitting in the hay. He ain't good looking, but he sure can play. Go. Johnny, go. Johnny Be Good. I can play it. I don't know the words to it. I should probably learn that song.
You should. Well, you on every Monday, right?
I'm on every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, yeah. I think you should learn that from next Tuesday, man, because I'll call back and request it.
All right, I'll try to. Well, maybe I can get Bob to. Well, next week we're going to be upstairs at Uptown Bill's, so you could come out to the show because we're going to be
Coffee shop
upstairs
upstairs
at Uptown Bill's Coffee House.
Okay.
Right above us, but maybe Bob's got his computer. You can look up the words. I mean, I know how to play it. I just I just never memorized the lyrics, so maybe I should. I'll see if I can work that up for you.
Okay, I appreciate that, Tom.
Well, thanks for calling.
Thank you.
It's perfect for this guitar. Go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go. Go, Johnny, be. I remember somebody singing that, and they point out to me at the audience there, and they say, "There's old Tom sitting in the hay. He ain't good looking, but he sure can play." So got my guitar to tune that way, but. I should learn Johnny Be Good. I also have to, how was it? I Walk the Line. I'm supposed to do I Walk the Line. I'm supposed to sing that one at Trek Fest. And I obviously I can play it. I mean, it's like a... The ties that bind, because you're mine, I walk the line. But I don't know the words. My band isn't not really my band. It's our band, because it's not a dictatorship like a band often is. I think on the news article that's supposed to come out, I'm the de facto leader, because it's a more democratic, and it was decided that I should sing I Walk the Line. So anyway, so next week we're going to be upstairs at Uptown Bill's Coffee House. If anybody wants to be there, they should go be in the audience. They have it's a coffee house. You can have coffee. They have great carrot cake there, if you're into that sort of thing. Exotic soda pop. Ice cream, yeah. It has the soda fountain from Pearson's drugstore from the old days there. So be there. This week the Russian 7-String Guitar Festival is going on. I should have mentioned that. I can't go there myself because I'm too busy. But check your local listings.